Mirasee.
There's multiple lessons learned here, but I mean, maybe we could start at the end. She has an interesting perspective here in that she works with people on how to be more confident, how to lean into their message, how to be effective in presenting their message. And that's something that a lot of course creators need to learn or up-level their skills.
Hello and welcome to Course Lab, the show that teaches creators like you how to make better online courses. I'm Ari Eni, the Director of Growth at Mirasee, and I'm here with my co-host, A. Crystal, the co-founder of Rizuku.
Hey there, Ari.
In each episode of Course Lab, we showcase a course and creator who is doing something really interesting, either with the architecture of their course or the business model behind it, or both. Today, we welcome Bethany Yamawaki to the show. A seasoned TV casting producer turned relationship coach, Bethany brings over 2 decades of experience from major reality shows like The Bachelor and Love Island. She's here to share insights from her empowering program, Star of Your Own Story, helping coaches and creatives claim their power and achieve their goals. Welcome, Bethany.
Thank you, Ari. Thank you, Abe. I'm really happy to be with you.
Awesome. So the question that I always kick these interviews off with is, could you give us the 30,000-foot view of yourself and how you came to be doing what you're doing in the world of online courses?
So I am a Midwest girl from Indiana, and I grew up with a single mom. I grew up biracial and had a great childhood, but a lot of it was trying to fit in on one side, trying to fit in on the other side. So I really understand when people come to me and they feel like othered and they're not fitting in. I was a theater major. I went to Northwestern for theater, and then I moved to New York and then to LA. So I did some really brave things in my youth. As I situated into Los Angeles, I became really excited about this casting career that I've been doing for 20 years. As you mentioned, I've done The Bachelor. I'm working on Bachelorette right now. I have done Love Island. I've done Big Brother Canada. So, so many amazing fun shows, and I've met really interesting people over the years and traveled to some amazing places. But in my interviewing over time, what I've found is all these people who've had these struggles, and they come to me with their issues and their reoccurring patterns. So what I did was I trained as a relationship coach so I could provide more support. That's what I've been doing for years, kind of on the side. I would actually say like hiding in some ways, right? I've been doing my casting, loving what I do, but I haven't really put myself out there with my relationship coaching. It's all been private clients. And I was approached by an influencer to do some on and off camera confidence work for her clients. In that masterclass I created for her, I really realized personally I was hiding and I wasn't really putting myself out there like I should be doing, like I was basically, teaching my clients to do. So that pivot was really important. And that's what created Star of Your Own Story. And now I help people really get in touch with their purpose, with their vision, with their why, and how to maximize that potential and reach their goals and dreams.
That's really cool. It's a very interesting path. Tell us a little bit more about this program. What does it look like?
So I've been doing the Star of Your Own Story for one-on-one clients. Right now, I'm turning it into my group program, which I'm really excited about because not only am I going to provide coaching support and accountability in this program, but community. People really thrive when they are around other people that can support them in their endeavors. So it is a 6-week program. It's an intensive. I think really important for us course creators is the ability to pivot and figure out like what's working, what's not based on feedback. So we're starting at 6 weeks and we'll see what happens. It may need to be like sort of, stretched into a 3-month program. But for now, the framework that I'm using is my STAR framework, which starts with self-discovery. And this really relates to casting. When people come to us and they want to be on a show, a lot of the things that we focus on for them are their relatability to the audience. Are they a vulnerable person that people can care about their journey along the way, but also their authenticity and their why. So I really help people figure out what's their purpose, what's their vision, what do they want for their future. And that's going to be your North Star when you're a creative in a course and an entrepreneur. You're going to want to look back at that and have that be your strength when you're facing difficulties in your business. So that's really important. Then we move on to obviously the tools and techniques that go along with that. Mindset precedes strategy. So, we want to really get people honed in on the tools that they need to build that confidence. A lot of times people think we're just either born with confidence or we're not, right? I mean, that's why I tell my story that you can be brave in parts of your life and go through things that make you settle or hide or not be as strong as you want to be. But that's like a muscle. You can build that. You can hone your skills of confidence and resilience. That's what we work on next. And then, of course, action is getting your strategies in place, getting that process, focusing on your goals and breaking them down into action steps. And then resonance, which is, if authenticity is the what, then resonance is the how, right? How do we connect with other people? How do we get our story out there? How do we get people to relate to us? And that's one thing that I really do all the time in casting, is honing in on people's stories and helping them communicate that message to others.
Very cool. Something I'm curious about is you have a very unique path and you're still doing both things. I'm very curious as to how your work as a coach, your work as a casting director, how both of those have influenced the way that you've built this program, the thought process that went into what you felt was important to be in this for a group setting, online or not.
Sure. Well, I will say part of the problem that a lot of creatives and coaches and entrepreneurs have when they start is they're told, like, just, face your fears and do this and be confident. I think a lot of people want to do this, but they don't know how. So I don't just say, like, fix your mindset. You need to break that down for people and give them specific tools, specific techniques. There's visioning, journaling, mapping, journal prompts, letters to yourself. There's EFT tapping, NLP. There's so many different ways to help people along the way and not just give them this general advice of face your fears. So I do think that's really important. And part of what I do as a casting producer and as a coach is hold space. And, I really think that that's important, to give people the room and the space to work through all that.
That's awesome. And so this program, it's going to be a group program, online, in person. The coaching that you do, is it mainly in person or is it online?
Yeah, it's online and it's a hybrid program. So especially starting out as the beta, putting everything in, online content in the platform, videos, exercises, lessons, weekly Q&A, community. I'm actually doing a weekly coaching call with this group because I want to maximize all the support, all the accountability, and really also get the feedback that we need as course creators, as coaches, to be able to, like, pivot and learn and grow and figure out what each person needs and put that in the program moving forward.
Very cool. And so one thing that I'm also curious about, the pivot from doing one-on-one to essentially not hide anymore and open up more and do this group and have it be more public. Can you tell me a little bit more about you said what prompted the pivot,
right?
But what was the thought process? What helped you make that leap that many entrepreneurs out there might be afraid or might have concerns about making?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? There are so many concerns. I'm still in it. That's why I can understand my clients, because I still understand the fear of, like, putting yourself out there for so many reasons, right? Not just like, it's hard to face your fears and be seen, but it's hard to overcome the scarcity idea, right? You don't want to let go of something that you're holding so tight to because you have a successful career. You don't want to lose that to jump into something else. Those are all the things that pushed me to put this out there, because I don't want anyone to feel like I had been feeling scared to put yourself out there. It's almost like not living in integrity with yourself, because you have something to offer, you can help people, but you're not actually doing it. And that takes you, I think, out of integrity with yourself. And if I can help anyone move past that, then that's what I want to do.
And the group aspect, like it being a group, is that just about reaching more people? Are there other elements that impacted your decision to move to that format?
I think it's both, right? It's reaching more people. It's also just in terms of time and scaling. First of all, I'm wanting to scale because eventually this is what I want to do full time. So, and I'm not trying to leave casting anytime soon. I still love it very much. So I want to try to do a combination of that. And so just in terms of energy and bandwidth, creating a group makes more sense because it's serving more people with the same amount of time, right? So that's partly why the group. And then I feel like there's elements to a group program, a membership, a mastermind, communing with other people that lifts you up in a way that just one-on-one doesn't give you.
That's great and makes total sense. Thank you. Abe, any questions from your side?
What do you see as some of the challenges that people are going to face, like going through your framework, and how are you thinking about addressing that from a learning perspective?
I think a lot of times initially, as I mentioned about like holding space for people, I think a lot of times people are fearful that they're going to start a program and not finish it. I think people are fearful that it won't give them what they need and what they've signed up for, that they won't get the results they want. So yes, I counter that with, as I mentioned, holding space, holding your hand through the process. I'm not someone who's just like, listen, just do it and figure it out. Here's my content, here's my program, and just learn it or don't. I'm really committed to walking my clients through this process. And I get it. I've been there. So it's not just teach what you know, teach what you want to learn. I'm in it with them. So I come from it from a overview of casting where I know how to help people shine. I know how to enhance their story. I know how to get them where they're trying to go. On the flip side, I understand what they're going through as well. So it's a 1-2 punch.
Yeah. And I guess it kind of relates to something else we can talk about is like when you have a program with this type of focus, it's more transformational, but the benefits are a bit more abstract, right?
Correct.
Like as opposed to say, hey, I'm going to teach you how to optimize your Facebook ads. Like this very like sort of concrete, outcome that you can push on.
Exactly.
How do you think about enrolling people into a program like this where it takes more understanding of what is the benefit I'm going to get from this?
Well, I think that that's something that comes with running the course and figuring out what, like, choose your own adventure, right? If you're in it because you want to have more on-camera confidence and be a leader in your company and communicate with your staff better, that's something I can offer. So I think that's a marketing question also. So right now, I have clients who are reality show potentials who want to be on a show. I want to be very clear here. You can't teach someone to be on a show. What you can do is give them the confidence, the tool, the know-how, the insights on how, to go about that, which relates to life in general. So yeah, I think there's a market for this in many different ways. And when it comes to goal setting, that's when I'm going to really figure out like, what is it that my client wants and how can I help them achieve it?
Makes sense. Since you teach people to be more confident, to be more effective on camera, what would be some tips or suggestions for course creators who want to be more effective in giving live webinars or creating videos for their courses? Do you have any suggestions for people in the field?
Well, first of all, I think conquering nerves is a huge factor in all that. I have an offering for that as well, which is a lot of breathing techniques. Practice really does make perfect. So I think what I recommend for my clients is doing a 1-minute recording every day. Just record yourself on Zoom, speak into the camera, and then watch it back and see the things that you need to work on. Are you using a lot of filler words, a lot of ums and ahs in your communication? I think that's a really important tip as well. People say daily affirmation is cheesy, but I really think they work. I don't think it's just like, I am successful. I think you need to back that up with a reason. So like I had a great coaching call today with a client because I'm a really great listener. So when you back that up with like, it gives you evidence for moving for the next time. So those are a couple tips.
I like that. I like the affirmation with a reason. Ari, any other directions you wanted to go in?
So one question I had from the conversation you were having with Abe around who you're going to be marketing to, essentially. I mean, you have a very unique placement. And so what are your thoughts around kind of niching down who you're going to go after? And have you thought about who you want this to be for at this level currently?
Yeah, I think that is probably the biggest question we go through as course creators and coaches, right? Who is my audience? What is my niche? Look, I've been through it all. I've pivoted this way and that way and tried to figure it out. It's a hard question. So I think the best thing to do is focus on one thing and then branch out, right? So right now my focus is on other coaches and people who want to be on reality shows. That's the niche right now. Those are the people that I'm marketing to. Those are the people that I am going to have in my program. Now, I obviously can take this program and work with people who have been on reality shows. I'm interested in reality aftercare. I'm interested in empty nesters. I'm interested in anyone who's going through a transition or is a person who wants to be confident on camera or lead discussion. Like right now, I'm niching down on those specific things.
And those two groups, and to me, it feels like there isn't a lot of overlap there, but of course, I might be very wrong about that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say more like, creatives, right? Coaches who want to offer a program. Maybe they don't know exactly what that is. They need to get a little bit more zoned in on what they want to do. People who want to be on shows or put themselves out there in that space want to create some sort of offering around what it is that they do. I do think those things can be more aligned.
So it's a conscious decision for you. You don't want to be separating those out. You would like both groups within the program together.
I would, and I think that they can serve each other as well.
That's awesome. Okay, very cool. All right, that's it for me. Abe, any last questions?
No, unless you have any other thoughts or lessons learned or things that you'd like to share that you think might be helpful for other course creators.
In terms of my casting experience, I just want to say that everyone has something to offer. Maybe not everybody should be on a reality show for various reasons, but everyone has star power in them. And I think it's just a matter of figuring out how to zone in on that and how to communicate it to the world. I just want to make sure everyone knows that they have something to offer.
That's really cool. Thank you so much, Bethany, for this conversation. Before we wrap up, if people want to learn more about you, about your program, where should they go?
So my program is called Star of Your Own Story. And so that is my Instagram handle at Star of Your Own Story. And the website is starofyourownstory.com.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Now stick around for my favorite part of the show, where Abe and Ari will pull out the best takeaways for you to apply to your course.
All right. Ari, it's time for the debrief. Bethany has a really interesting story and a bit of a different approach to courses as well.
Yeah, I thought it was a really interesting conversation. And also, she comes at it from a very interesting direction through very interesting experiences.
Yeah, I mean, not many people have worked on actual reality TV shows that are in production. There's multiple lessons learned here, but I mean, maybe we can start at the end. She has an interesting perspective here in that she works with people on how to be more confident, how to lean into their message, how to be effective in presenting their message. And that's something that a lot of course creators need to learn or up-level their skills in those areas, especially if you're coming from an area where you haven't been on camera, let's say, or you haven't been the face of teaching in a specific area. That could be nerve-wracking. So just approaching that as a skill that can be learned, right? And whether it's using her framework like breath work or finding what works for you, but recognizing that it's okay to be nervous about presenting. It's okay to be nervous about creating materials for a course. That's totally normal, but it's also something that you can overcome with practice.
Yeah, absolutely. And something we didn't explore with her is, that she is now in front of the camera as opposed to behind the camera kind of situation. Mm-hmm. And I think it's important to take her lesson, learn from her experience around why she's doing what she's doing and why she's putting herself out there, and examining that for yourself around what do you care about, what's the motivation that you have, and then yes, through all these things that are hard to do that you don't know how to do yet, why is it still worth doing and important for you to do?
Yeah. Well, and recognizing that what you may have the opportunity to teach or to coach people on, it may be drawn from your experience. Like Bethany picked up a great set of skills and experiences through her work in reality show casting. It doesn't mean you're literally teaching just that exact field, right? So that is something she can do. Like she can coach someone who wants to be on a reality show and how to show up confidently and with presence and so on. But the perspective that she gained through doing that has much broader applicability than that. So I think that's also a takeaway for people that they can think about, okay, if I worked in this specific niche area, right? If you worked in corporate law, if you worked in, some specialized areas of fitness, whatever, yes, there are hard skills within that specific domain, but also what have you learned from working within that domain that has broader applicability to other areas as well.
And when picking a niche for yourself, as you go into building courses or building any kind of offer, even if it has broader applicability, don't feel like you have to run away from the niche that you were already in. If this is where you know people, great, go for it. Use everything at your disposal to build your business.
Yep. All right. Sounds good.
Yep.
Bethany is a TV casting producer turned relationship coach and offers her signature program, Star of Your Own Story. You can find out more about her at starofyourownstory.com. She has a resource called Cast Off Your Nerves on and off camera for our listeners to download. You'll find a link to that in the show notes. And thank you again for listening to Course Lab. I'm Abe Crystal, co-founder and CEO for Zuku, here with my co-host, Ari Eby. Course Lab is part of the Mirasee FM podcast network, which also includes such shows as Neuroscience of Coaching and Making It. And if you want to hear more from Course Lab, you can follow us on YouTube or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And of course, we would always appreciate a starred review. It really does make a difference in helping more people find the show. So thank you, and we'll see you next time. All right, Ari, who do we have coming on the show next time?
Next time, we have Penny Vandenberg, who is coming to the show. She is a life and conflict navigation coach and is launching a course called Confident Conversations, a communication skills course for introverted women.
Sounds really interesting.